Happy 4th of July. Happy Independence Day. Welcome to a special edition of the DGD Podcast. As always, Robert Reynolds here, the NCDGD himself. Obviously, everybody's probably busy, cooking on the grill, burgers and hot dogs. But we're going to be talking a little bit about some Georgia recruiting. As D4 Sports in here. Welcome, sir. Welcome to the chat here. And listen, we're going to go ahead and we'll kind of make this brief because I know everybody's pretty busy. And we'll go ahead and jump straight to the chase, right? But first, reminder, the show is brought to you by Alumni Hall in Athens, right? 10 minutes away from campus. Licensed apparel. That's Nike, Columbia. I've got Nike and Columbia stuff from Alumni Hall. I love it. Obviously, it's Georgia gear, all licensed Georgia gear. Check them out, right? Check them out. alumnihall.com. Give them a shout out. Let them know DGD sent you. With that being said, I'm going to let you know, if you're a Georgia fan, all right, I'm going to let you know right now, the world is not coming to an end. Okay, it's just not coming to an end. I promise you. I promise you. Understand, the world's not coming to an end, okay? Obviously, listen, 2 decommits in one day is always not fun, right? It's never fun. I get it. Obviously, it's rough. You're sitting here so far in July, you're expecting fireworks, and you're basically getting duds. I get it. I completely understand, right? Completely understand, but all is not lost, folks. All is not lost. With that being said, right, obviously Antion Jackson flips his commitment from Georgia to Miami. Raquez McElderry flips from Georgia to Alabama. Okay, yeah, it stings a little bit, but it's also July 4th. Okay, it is July 4th, and this does not end until February. Okay, trust me, Georgia will be fine. We'll be fine, I promise. I promise. But as we all know, right, Georgia is at this level where we have to have recruits and everything like this. Listen, trust me, it's the 2023 cycle. You lose a 2024 kid. I get it. You have nothing in the 2024 cycle now. Oh, no. Oh, no. You lose Raquez McElderry. Good for Alabama. Just saying. Good for them. But listen, there's still a ton of guys out here, right? Obviously in July 4th, you sitting there, you're watching teams like, Notre Dame, right? Miami, right? Get these kids on July 4th, and that's awesome. But there's a lot of kids that's about to sit here and make their commitments that have Georgia right there at the top. And I'm still holding tight with the fact you're going to see Georgia have a good month of July. Okay, you just will. You just will. As D4 Sports here says, NIL is changing the landscape, and it is. You have to adapt or you're going to get left behind. You're going to. The one thing that Georgia has to offer, proven success, recent success, obviously coming off of a national championship, I'm not worried about what Georgia's doing right now. Because you can give me Miami and while they're getting it, you can give me Texas. Oh, that's another one. Sadir Mitchell commits to Texas. No surprise. But it's all good. You know why? Because I think kids will also look on the field production as well. Right? So I've been an advocate for this. Listen, NFL is greater than NIL, and it will always be that way. It will. Because the money's nice and all right now, but if you don't get developed, good luck sitting there watching 7 rounds of NFL draft and your name or anybody from your school for that matter get called. That might ring a bell a little bit, okay? Good for them. Listen, Texas, good for y'all. Y'all needed that. Y'all needed a shot in the arm in regards to recruiting. And now I need to see you change it up and put some production on the field. We had a top 5 class this past season. You went, obviously they don't have the true impact like that, but they went 5-7, right? How can a 5-7 team be pulling the momentum that they're doing, right? And that's what D4 Sports is talking about, NIL. And that's okay. Welcome to today's college football. That's just what it is. Well, college athletics for that matter. As he also says, money will get some kids, but they have to start looking at the bigger money. It's about player development. Yeah, absolutely. And I'm gonna compare here. Look at Georgia just this past season, and look at Texas A&M. Texas A&M coming off of eight 5-stars in their class, and they had what DeMarvin Leal, I think, go in the 4th round. And outside of that, it was basically them. It was very subpar, right? Now you can get these kids there, but now also you got to keep them there too. But Georgia, 3 first-round defensive linemen. That's obviously Devontae Wyatt, Jordan Davis, and Trayvon Walker, right? All those guys got 7 figures, or 8 figures for that matter, excuse me. 8 figures each. Most of it guaranteed, like most of the over 8 figures guaranteed being first round. And it will show, right? Because you get these guys, you get developed, you will go in and you will play in the NFL. Georgia has done that. Listen, for the most part, everybody wanted to knock on Georgia trying to recruit defensive linemen. That has now been shit on with 3 first-round picks. Just going to leave that there. But with that being said, we talked about NFL development, and there's obviously, one of my favorite kids in this class, and that's Jamal Jarrett, right? And we're going to bring this up right here, right? So just early today, think about this. Could you see a big 3? Now, I ain't going to say similar to, because that's going to be hard to compare. But you have, obviously, Jamal Jarrett. You have Andre Hill, and you have Bryce Davis. Listen, the crazy thing you see here at 99 and Bryce on the far right, those guys are upcoming sophomores, guys. Those are upcoming sophomores. It's insane. It's insane. Both of those guys are upcoming sophomores. Dre is 6'3", 325. Bryce is 6'4", 225, and could probably grow to about 6'6". Now, obviously, that's a ways out, but somebody on the far left is in this class, guys. And they're expected to make their commitment, in about 15 days. 15 days. Now, could it be Georgia? Absolutely it could. But it could also have UNC or Auburn, right? That's his top 3 is Jamal Jarrett. You're holding reservations. You're feeling pretty good if you're Georgia right now, right? I think you have to look at that. It's just the way it's going to be. So you've got Jamal, and there's a bunch of other people too. But if you want to look even further, right, there's also some positive things here to take away. And I'm not one to necessarily believe in these 100%, but I've just given you a bunch of shitty news, okay? Obviously reiterating the shitty news. So I'm going to bring it up to you in a positive light. 2024 quarterback, Julian Sayin, right? Crystal ball to Georgia. Oh, there you go. Might see him get committed, right? Might come in this class. Is he better than Arch? Maybe. I don't know. Maybe so. You never know, right? But and also looking back onto this, going back to the brigade, Georgia needs to sit down with the boosters and say, ante up or don't come crying when you get beat up for a recruit. To that point, yes and no. I think Georgia's going to get the guys that they need, right? My thing is, when you look at on-field performance, in my opinion, that should matter. If I'm Georgia, I want kids that want to come here to get developed and play. It ain't about the money more so than it is long-term effect. Because if I'm Georgia right now, if I'm somebody in the room, I'm telling you right now, I'm showing them the contract numbers from Jordan Davis, Devontae Wyatt, Trayvon Walker for damn sure, right? And then you still got Quay Walker, right? You got Lewis Seen. Show me those first round figures, guys. Even Lewis Seen at number 32 got 8 figures. That's more than what you're going to see in the NIL deal, in the NIL world. I'm telling you that. It's just going to be more than what you're going to see, period. And it's going to be guaranteed. That's the key. That's the key, D4. That's the key. I need consistency. I need guarantees. You play, you get go to the NFL. Guess what? You'll get guaranteed money regardless, more than what you're going to see in NIL. So I'm just saying, to your point, sure. Do we need to ante up? Possibly, but Georgia's going to recruit the guys that they need anyway, and I think you'll see that. Are you going to miss out on more guys? Absolutely, absolutely. But that's still not, in my opinion, knocking Georgia from finishing top three because I think they will, even without Arch Manning. I think looking back on this, as obviously he committed to Texas, right? Even without Arch, we were still going to finish easily top five, probably top three. You just move up to 2 or 1 with Arch at that point, right? Obviously, time is to be, things are to be determined, but nonetheless, right? I think you look at the recency of missing out on kids. Deshaun Womack's set to commit today, right? We'll see what happens there. I think he goes to LSU. That's another kid out of the DMV area that we thought we could get. We're not getting. So it sounds bad, and I understand that it sounds bad, but it's not necessarily the end of the world. And I promise you, it's not the end of the world. I'm just saying. Just going to say that there. All right, that's all I'm going to say in regards to that. Now, with that being said, we're going to move on a little bit more, right? I still think you're going to have an excellent defensive class, arguably one of the best in history. And I know that sounds crazy with everything that's been going on the last couple of days, but it's not a stretch. It's really not. Because keep in mind what you just got last year, this past cycle. This defensive line is insane. It gets overshadowed by A&M and all their five-star D linemen, all that stuff. But it shouldn't. Because you give me Michael Williams, Kristen Miller, Marvin Jones Jr., Bear Alexander, and that's just in one D-line class. It's fucking scary, guys. That's scary. That's insane. And I'm all for it. I'm all for it because now you're added to guys like Tyrion Ingram-Dawkins and Jalen Carter and Nazir Stackhouse and Warren Brinson, right? Those guys, I'm saying right now, some of the, Michael Williams will make an impact immediately this freshman year. He will make an impact this freshman year. Same with Marvin Jones Jr. Both of those guys are going to make an impact immediately. I guarantee you that. It's insane, right? But then also think about what you're seeing in this cycle. You could honestly see 3 of the top 6 linebackers in this class end up with Georgia and that G. Keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. Because you've already got C.J. Allen in the fold. Raylan Wilson decommits from Michigan, only a matter of time before he commits to the Dogs. And then Troy Bowles. Troy Bowles is a fucking dog, too. That boy's a dog, too. So you give me 3 of those guys on top of a potential of Jamal Jarrett on the D-line, maybe Sam Mpemba on the edge, pairing that up with MJJ. Are you picking up what I'm putting down here, folks? It's insane to think of the talent. Georgia's losing everybody. Everybody's, Georgia's going away. Yeah, people decommit. Okay. It's been kind of common knowledge at this point that Raikes was teasing around when letting go. He did. Not going to knock a kid. More power to you and wish you well. But sometimes things open up. And it might just be better. It might get better for you. We've seen things like this happen. Kids decommit from Georgia only to get a better pickup per se. And that better pickup, and we've seen it, that pays dividends for the program. Keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. And you've also got, September 27th, Tyler Williams is more than likely going to be a dog. There's a receiver to add to your class with Raymond Cottrell. You might have Hakeem, maybe not. We'll see. But I guarantee you in 6 months ago, you weren't in on his doorstep. You weren't even close. You weren't knocking. Same with Malik Benson. I think he's going to Bama. But guess what? You wouldn't have been in on it 6 months ago. Just wouldn't have. Just would not have been there. Okay? Coach BMAC is getting you. Coach Fran Brown is getting you there. Uzo's getting you there. These new hires, right? And even Stacy and Coach Searles, you got to give him some time. You got to give him some time. But nonetheless, these guys are getting you on the doorsteps and in these homes of kids that Georgia would never have been able to this time 6 months, 8 months ago. Just wouldn't have. Just wouldn't have. Right? Just so keep that in mind. You might not get everybody. You can't get everybody. Right? You can't get everybody. But time has told you since Kirby Smart has been here to trust Kirby. Trust him. And I'm telling you, as long as you stay calm and trust Kirby, Georgia fans will be fine. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. I can 100% assure you that would be the case. Period. With that being said, we talked about Alumni Hall. Right? We talked about Alumni Hall. Make sure you check out alumnihall.com. Go get you something black. Get a black shirt, black shorts, or whatever in regards to the Spike Squad Black Out the Bins campaign. Remember, if you're on social media, use the hashtag Black Out the Bins. Do that for the Spike Squad. Wear black, whether you're at the bins or you're at home cheering on the Dogs September 3rd as we host Oregon and go duck hunting in the bins. With that being said, have a great 4th of July. This is kind of a shorter episode, and I completely understand. You don't want to hear me talk. You want to sit there and eat your burgers and your brats and light some fireworks and make sure to be safe, drink responsibly, and put it in reverse, Terry. With that being said, have a great 4th of July. We'll catch you back Friday. Go Dogs.